fields are initialized. Who will initialize this? Constructor will initialize this. Okay. So this is how your fields are going to have a default value now. So what I said to you in the first point, the job of a constructor is to initialize the fields of the class. See, remember, at the time of declaration here, at the time of declaration, suppose you are declaring a variable with a value like this. At the time of declaration, you are declaring a variable with a value like this. You are declaring a variable with a value like this now. So what will constructor do, means you declared it like this. What will constructor do is, constructor will always initialize the field with the same value now. If you don't give any value, it will initialize with the default value. If you give a value, it will initialize the same value only now. Got my point or not? If you don't give a value, constructor will give a default value. If you give a value, constructor will initialize with the same value. It doesn't give a new value again. Same value only. It will be taking after you and initializes here. Understood or not? Okay. So this is how fields will have default values. Recollect yourself. We already discussed in the datax classes. I given a table of 4 columns. First one talks about the C# type. Second one talks about the CIL types. Third one talks about the size of the capacity. And the fourth column is the default value. Yes or not? We discussed about it. What is the default value for appropriate type? Every type will have a default value, and we discussed about the default value. And that default value comes like this only. Who will take the responsibility? Constructor will take the responsibility to initialize all the fields of your class with the corresponding default values. And that's the job or role of a constructor. Is it clear, all of you? That is the job or role of the constructor. And remember one more thing. Variables doesn't have a default value. Variables doesn't have a default value. Variables must be initialized explicitly. We saw that also. If you declare a variable, don't initialize, error comes. Variables must be initialized. Correct? And understand why that also. Why variables must be initialized? Why constructor won't initialize the variables? No, constructor won't initialize the variables. Why constructor won't initialize the variables? Because constructor cannot access the variables. Constructor cannot access the variables. What I mean is, look, man, I'm writing a method like this. Public void print is a method. In this method, you're declaring int y. Guys, is an error. This is an error. Why, sir? Constructor won't initialize? It won't initialize. Why it won't initialize? What is the scope of y? Inside the print method. Inside the print method. It cannot be accessed outside now. Or if it cannot be accessed, then how can the constructor initialize it? The answer is with you only. What is your answer? Y is not accessible outside. Y is not accessible outside. Constructor also cannot access it and initialize it now. That is the reason why constructor will never initialize variables. Constructors will initialize only fields. Is everyone clear or not? Understood? Okay. So every class will contain the implicit constructor if not defined explicitly. And don't forget, what is it, these implicit constructors are public constructors. Implicit constructors are public. Okay. Yeah, look at this. Constructor. This is a special method present under a class responsible for initializing the data members, means fields of that class. This method is invoked automatically when we create the instance of class. The name of constructor method is the same name of the class, and moreover, it is a non-value returning method. Every class requires a constructor in it if you want to create the instance of the class, or else we cannot create the instance of the class. We cannot create the instance of that class. Okay? Read the note. While defining a class, it is responsible for developers to define a constructor explicitly under his class. And if they fail to do so, on behalf of the developer, an implicit constructor gets defined in those classes. So till now we defined by using those implicit constructors only. Don't forget that till now, every instance you created for the class is every instance you create for this particular class, every instance you create for this particular class is like, I'm sorry, every instance you create for the class is calling the implicit constructor, is calling the implicit constructor. So till now, we are creating instances of the class we defined by using those implicit constructors. Understood or not? Okay. Like this, we're just going to, means the constructors will be defined in this particular fashion. Are you clear? Okay. So next, see this, look at this. Is that clear, all of you? Okay. Read this. Yeah. Understood, all of you? Implicit constructors are public. Second point, while declaring a field, if we assign any value to it, then constructor will initialize the field with that value only, or else it will initialize the field with default value. Got it? Third point, we can also define our own constructors in classes, and if we do that, implicit constructors will not be defined. Clearer or not? If you do that, implicit constructors will not be defined. That's the important point. Okay, na? Fine. Next, how do you define a constructor? Watch it. Syntax to define a constructor explicitly. It is the same like a method definition only, man. Only void or type is missing there. Did you notice it or not? What is missing? Void or type is missing there. That's all. Otherwise, it is exactly same as your method definition only. Got it or not? Okay. So what is the difference? If it is a method, we say method name, but your constructor will have the class name now. So see what is the syntax showing you? Class name. Modifiers, class name, because constructor name should be class name only. And here also we can have parameters and any statements to execute. So shall we try writing a constructor on our own now? Okay. Yeah, I want to define a constructor on my own now. So let me define a constructor. Say, let me add a new class. We'll name the class as condemo. Watch it. And naming the class as condemo. Condemo is the name of this class. Now, Look at this. What I wanted to do is, I want to define a constructor explicitly under this class now. Are you clear? I want to define a constructor explicitly under this class now. That's my requirement. An explicit constructor I want to define under this class. Okay. So look at this, all of you. Public on demo. Console dot write line constructor is called. I'm also writing a method here, public void demo. Console dot write line method is called. Okay, method is called. See here, if I remove void, I get error. Why? Method must have a written type compulsory specified now. Okay, and here, if I try to write void or something, I'll get error. What is error? No. What is error? Now the compiler is thinking that is a method. When you write the void, compiler is thinking the method not as a constructor and telling you your method name cannot be class name. Did you understand the error or not? What is he telling you? Your method name cannot be class name. But what is your intention? Method or constructor? So remove the void there. Are you clear? Yes or not? So you write, if you remove void, error will come here. If you add void, error will come here. That's what, when you're writing the code, this is what the R&D is what you're required to do. If you write what happens, then now you're required to test it. Just not only what I say. Just not only what I say. You're required to use different trial and errors. Okay, so that read the error messages. If you write what happens, if I remove this, what happened? That's how you need to improvise your skills. Okay, fine, guys. Let me write a main method, static void main. Now I have a question before you. Constructors are defined implicitly or explicitly. Answer. Constructors are defined implicitly or explicitly. My question is straightforward. Give an answer. That's it. Why you're talking all this implicita, explicita? Both is a wrong answer. Wrong answer. Explicit is wrong answer. That is also wrong answer. Either or. Both chance is not there. I said you in the morning and again you're telling both, sir. Morning only I said you. There is no chance for both constructors in a class. What did I say? Either explicit or implicit. So what is the answer? Either or, not both. What is the answer? Either or. First, explicit. Otherwise, implicit. When you say both, what is the meaning here? One explicit is there, one implicit is there now. Yes or not? And that chance is not there. I said you already in the morning. You have only explicit or implicit. So what is the answer? Either or. Okay, next question. Anyone, not anyone? It should be either or. Okay. Now, next question. Constructors are called implicitly or must be called explicitly? Yeah, the question. Constructors are called implicitly or must be called explicitly? Explicit. Yeah, perfect. Constructors must be called explicitly. And we do that while creating the instance of class. We do that while creating the instance of class. Watch it, all of you. I'll show you practically. Right now, you have one constructor, one method in the class, correct now? Blue shirt and black. What are you doing, man? You're very seriously discussing. Is that so important? Tell us also. Array, listen to the class here. Concentrate on the class first. See, I'm setting a startup object and let me run this. And you see, method not called, constructor not called, nothing called. Array, method has to be, sorry, method not executed, constructor not executed. Why? Nothing is called. Nothing is called. Until and unless you call, nothing will execute for you. You should call it. Let's see. On demo, CD1 is equals to new condem. And all of you, console dot write line. Observe it. Constructor is called now. Sir, where did you call that? Where did you call it? I called it. Where did you call it, sir? Watch it. Watch it carefully. What did you write here is exactly matching with what did you write here now? Array, that's constructor calling, man. That is constructor calling. So when do you call the constructor? While creating the instance of class. Remember in the starting days, I said you how to create the instance of a class. In the starting of the week only, I said you how to create the instance of a class. Tell me. Class name. Perfect. Instance name is equals to new. Yeah, guys. I said your new class name now. I'm sorry, I said wrong. Constructor name. It's not class name. And here comes your values. Any values are there, you can pass your values here. Okay, sir, earlier you said class name. Yeah, on that day you don't know what is the constructor. Yeah, that's why I said your class name. And is it wrong if I say class name there? Why? When both have the same name, if I say class name there, what happened? If I say constructor name there, what happened now? Are you getting me? Both are same. But exactly, it is not class name, it is constructor name. But on that day, you don't know what is the constructor. If it is a constructor, you will be confused. That is why I said here as class name. You can see, watch. Look here. When you put your mouse here, what is the compiler telling you? Sorry, what is IntelliSense telling you? It's a class. But when you put your mouse here, it won't tell you the class. What are you telling you? See, condemo.condem. What is that, sir? First condemo is your class here. Second condemo is your method. Constructor. Did you notice it? But here it is not showing you condemo.condemo. What are you telling you? Class. What are you telling you? Condemo.condemo. Are you clear? And that is how you call a constructor. Are you clearer or not? That is how you call a constructor. That's how exactly you're going to call a constructor. Okay. See, whenever I create an instance, listen, all these are interconnected with each other. Whenever I create an instance, I call a constructor. And this will allocate the memory. Did you understand? Creating an instance is calling a constructor, and that will allocate the memory. So what I'm trying to tell you now, memory allocation is associated with constructor calling. If constructor called only, memory will be allocated. If constructor not called, memory will not be allocated. Yesterday only practically shown you that. How? Am I calling a constructor or not? Is the memory allocated? Okay, now I'm going to say condemo CD2 is equals to new condemo. Am I calling the constructor second time? Memory is allocated second time or not? Yeah, memory is allocated second time now. Okay, now I'll say condemo CD3 is equals to CD2. Am I calling a constructor? Array, am I calling a constructor? Tell that. Why are you changing the answer? Am I calling a constructor? No, you're not calling a constructor. So memory is not allocated or not? Array, yesterday I taught you that only, na? CD3 doesn't have a memory of its own. What CD3 is doing? CD3 is sharing the memory of the CD1. CD3 doesn't have. See, yesterday I taught you all. Today I'm interrogating all these particular things. See, every concept is connected one here. Either they connect with the previous one or they connect with the next topics. Understood me or not? So what I said to you in the last session, whenever you create an instance, memory will be allocated. Why? Because instance will call constructor and constructor will allocate memory. Are you clear? Instance will call constructor and constructor will allocate the memory. So whenever the instance is created, constructor is called and memory is allocated. Are you getting me or not? Whenever the instance is created, constructor is called and memory is allocated. Okay. And at the same time, you remember the second thing also. What is it? When I create a reference, I'm not calling a constructor. That is where reference will not have memory allocation. Okay. But remember, reference works like an instance only. Yes or not? That's why I can call our method. What is the method? Demo by using CD1, by using CD2, as well as by using CD3 also you can call, because the reference works like a instance. All three will call, but constructor calling is done 2 times only. Observe it. Clear? 2 times constructor call means 2 memories are there now. Okay now? Am I clear with the reference now? Reference doesn't own a memory, or not? It doesn't own a memory. What it will do? It will share the memory. It will share the memory basically. Okay? Yeah. Look guys. Read that. We do that while creating the instance of class as following. See, class name, instance name is equals to new constructor name, list of values. Condemo, obj is equals to new condemo. And that one is calling the constructor. Okay, read it. References are not going to call the constructor, so references will not have memory allocation. Okay, read this. Already said you. What is the answer? Either or. Don't say both. Both is a blunder. Either or. Next. Constructor calling should be done explicitly. No implicit calling. It is only a explicit call. Okay now. Are you guys clear? Now see, constructors are 2 types here. What are the 2 types? Default or parameterless, parameterized. Did you understand? Constructors are 2 types. Default or parameterless, parameterized. And now tell me what is the constructor? Default or parameterized? Or constructor is default? Answer another question. Morning I thought you. What is it? If you don't define a constructor explicitly, implicit constructor will be defined. That is default or parameterized. Array, that is default or parameterized means you say yes sir. Well, I asked the question, that is default or parameterized. Default. So understand, default constructors can be defined explicitly or implicitly. Default constructors can be defined explicitly. See, you saw, you done that. Second option, implicitly. Array, till yesterday, compiler defined all the constructors for us, and all of them are default constructors only. What is the second option? Parameterized. What is parameterized? Look, I'm adding a new class, guys. I will name the class as param con demo. I'll name the class as param con demo. Are you clearer or not? Okay, we are just going to write a new class with the name called param demo. So you notice this, eh? I want to define a constructor in this now, public param demo in type console dot write line parameterized constructor is called, and also I'm printing the I value here now. Clear? Just like method only, man. Just like a method we written. Now what? Static void main console dot write. Just a second. Look at what are you doing here? You're trying to create the instance of the class param demo cd1 is equals to new param demo. Are you clear? And see this giving an error now. Sir, why sir? Because see, look, constructor calling here is not matching the constructor definition. Yes or not? Constructor calling is not matching the definition. Why? Constructor definition is expecting a parameter and constructor calling is not having the parameter now. So constructor calling is not matching the definition. The calling is not matching the definition. Because the calling is not matching the definition, all of you listen. This is throwing you an error. So what should I do? Pass the value now. See, man, see what is the error? Parameter I of. You did not pass any parameter value for them now. Okay, now let me pass a value. I'm passing 10. Now the value 10 goes to I. The value 10 goes to I and it is printed for you there. It is printed for you over there. Are you clearer or not? It is printed for you over there. Every time I'm able to pass a new value now. Now you understood the syntax correctly. List of values. What is list of values? If construct is parameterized, you need to pass the values now. You need to pass the values. Till now we never passed because till now what we worked is all default constructors only. Till yesterday, today morning, all we worked is default constructors. And now you will start with parameterized constructors. That's in parameterized constructors only. In parameterized constructors only, we require to pass the values. But in default constructors, we don't require to pass any values. Are you guys clearer or not? Understood all of you? So that is all about a parameterized and a default constructor basically. Okay, fine. And now you notice it, you're passing up the appropriate values and you're able to print or see the results on the screen. You're able to print or see the results on the screen now, all these particular things. Okay, fine. Now listen, I have a question before you. What is the question? In an interview, a question is asked like this. There is a predefined class. Predefined class means you did not define it. Someone defined this class. And in that class, there is a default constructor. Okay? Is it implicitly defined or explicitly defined? Louder. Why not implicit? Default constructor is explicit. When did I say? I said you there's a predefined class, and in that class there is a default constructor. I said you that's it now. On what basis you are telling it is explicit? It could be either implicit or explicit. So what is the answer now? The answer is can't say. The answer is can't say. Why you can't say? Array, what did you learn, man? Default constructor can be explicitly defined. Yes or not? Today morning you done the second option. They can be explicitly defined also if no constructor in the class. And what I said you that the predefined class means you did not look at the class. There is a default constructor. Who defined this constructor means who can answer this? If I define the class, I will tell. But who defined it? Someone defined the class. I don't know. He defined the constructor or not. Did you understand me or not? Array, you written something at your home yet. You came and put in the puzzle before. Put for me. What is it? Can you tell me what you cook at home? Array, how do I know? Yeah, you cook something at home and you ask me. It's a puzzle for me. Yeah. Are you clear? I don't know. I don't know. Exactly the same thing I'm telling you. That is predefined. Someone defined it. Implicitly defined that. Explicitly defined that means no one can answer this question. Can't say. I don't know. Are you clear? But if the question is asked like this, read it. What is the answer? Explicitly defined. Why I asked this question, to make you understand a point. What, parameterized constructors are always explicit constructors only, not implicit. Are you clear? Implicitly, what type of constructors will be defined? Default only. Compiler will never write parameterized constructors in code. Compiler will write default only. Developer only can write a default or parameterized, but compiler will never write parameterized. I want you make that point clear. Understood all of you or not? Okay, these are the simple questions will give wrong answers in interviews. That's why I'm warning you for all these things. Clear? So default constructor can be fill the blank. Default constructor can be explicit or implicit. Parameterized constructor must be explicit. Not can be, must be explicit. It is not, it can be explicit. It must be explicit only because there is no chance for implicit. Is it clear? Understood me? So that is the important thing you just require to remember. Yeah, either or is a wrong answer there. It should not be either or. Is what I'm telling you. You cannot use the same medicine for all diseases here. For this question, I said either or. For this question also, you cannot say either or. Are you getting my point here? They're asking you this question. They're asking you this question. See, you're asking me your puzzle. What do I cook means? I can say you cooked something. You cooked something. There's not a right answer. No. I don't know what you cooked. I don't know what you cooked. Are you clear? Okay. So here also that is only I cannot say this because it is predefined. Who defined it? That person can answer the question, not me. But if it is a parameterized, even I don't look into the code also, I can say. What I can say? It is 100% explicit, not implicit, because implicit constructors are not parameterized. Only implicit constructors can be default on. Okay. Yeah. Next. Understood about constructors first? What is a constructor? A special method. Okay. What is the responsibility? Initialize the fields. What is the name? Class name. Class name. Return type? Non-value returning. Okay. Next. Constructor is mandatory or optional for a class? Mandatory. So because it is mandatory, what I said? Either should be defined explicitly or will be defined implicitly. Will be defined implicitly. Okay. And next, they will be implicitly called or explicitly called. Explicitly called. They must be explicitly called. How many types of constructors? Two types. What are the two? Default parameter. Default constructors can be implicit or explicit. Parameterized constructors You're forgetting the word again. Must be. I said you that parameterized constructors must be explicit. Okay, yesterday someone raised this particular question after the class. What is it? Sir, if I don't define a constructor, do I have an implicit constructor in the class? Yes, you have. And that constructor will help in creating the instance of the class. Yeah, it's helping us. Yes or not? Then why to waste my time and write a constructor again in the class now? Did you get the question? Why to waste my time and define a constructor explicitly? Because you are explaining the concept of explicit constructor today. Why, sir? Why do I need that? If I don't define also, there is an implicit constructor anyhow, and the constructor will initialize the fields with the default values. Yes or not? Then why are you asking us, or why are you teaching us to define a constructor? Did you get the question? Tell me. Okay, I'll tell you. The answer is, listen, to explain this, I am adding a new class in the project here. I will name this class as second.cs. Second.cs. All of you have a keen look on this class. Yesterday, you defined a class called first. Remember? Yesterday, you defined a class called first.cs. Same way today, I defined a class called second.cs. Okay. In first.cs, you declared a public field. What is the name? X value 100. Here also I wanted a public field here, public int x, but I don't want to initialize any value. So class first also has a public field x, class second also has a public field x, right now? Okay, concentrate on this carefully. Now I'm adding a new class here. I will name the new class as test classes. What is that? Test classes. Now tell me, can I create the instance of the class first and class second here? Come on, yaar. Can I create the instance of the class first and class second here or not? Yeah, we already tested that. Program class instance you created in the test program. EMP class instance you created in user defined types. If that is the case, I can create the class first and class second instances here now. Okay, watch. I am creating 3 instances to my class. Which class first? What did I teach you yesterday, man? Every instance will have its own memory now. Correct or not? Under that, they have a copy of X or not? F1, F2, F3 are 3 instances. You have 3 copies of X also now. What is the value of X? 100. The value of X is 100. Okay? Okay. Put that in the mind. Same way, I want to create multiple instances to my class second also now. How many? 3. So now under these 3 also we have a copy of X now. S1 has X, S2 has X, S3 has X. Do you have X under all the 3 or not? What is the value? 0. Right, default value na. What is the value? 0. So in the first case, all 3 X's are going to have 100. In the second case, all the 3 X's are going to have 0. Let's print and see, guys. Console.writeLine f1.x plus space plus f2.x plus f3.x. Same like that. s1.x plus. Okay, now. Run. I did not teach anything newly. Already explained you this in the last session. That only I shown you again. That's all. Yes or not? Now, in both these 2 cases, do I have an explicit constructor or implicit constructor? In both cases, we have implicit constructor. See the drawback of implicit constructor. Implicit constructor will initialize fields of a class either with default value or a given fixed value even if I create multiple instances to my class. Even if I create multiple instances to my class. What I'm trying to tell you is, guys, you got a job. You got a job now. And now you're required to go to the office every day. So go to the office every day. You just want to. You always have only casual wear. You don't have a. You always have a casual wear, but you don't have a formal wear. You don't have a formal wear. And to go to office, you're required to go on a formal wear now. You're required to go on a formal wear to the office. So because you need to go in a formal wear, your father has asked you, you required to go in a wear. So purchase three or four new formal wear now. You went for shopping now. Are you going to purchase the same color and pattern of dresses? Tell me, are you going to office or school? You don't purchase the same color now. If you purchase the same color, it will be like a uniform now. Yes or not? If you purchase the same color pants or the same color shirts or something like that, or the same color dresses, continuously, suppose we purchase the 5 new dresses here, but same color, everything same now. Every day you are wearing a new dress now. Fourth or fifth day, someone will ask this question: why are you wearing the same dress again and again? Yes or not? No, you're not wearing the same dress. What are you wearing? A new dress every day. Yes or not? But it looks like same. So when you're given a chance to purchase multiple dresses, what you purchase? Different colors, different patterns, or the different designs is what you do now. Yes or not? Same way, when I'm creating multiple instances, all instances having the same value, does it not look the same boring now? All instances same value. What do you use here? You created 10 instances. In all the 10 instances, same value is present. Then why did you create 10 instances? One is enough now. Right or wrong? Understood my question or not? Okay. So understand the drawback of implicit constructor. What will implicit constructor do? Implicit constructor will initialize the fields of a class with default value or fixed given value. See here, default value here. Even if I create multiple instances, and that looks funny now, right? 10 instances created, 10 have the same value. What is the point of creating 10 instances now? If each instance have a different value, then it makes sense. But all instances having the same value, that doesn't make any sense at all. Agree or not? This is why you need to define constructors on your own now. Did you catch my point? This is why you are required to define constructors on your own now. You define a constructor on your own now. How do you define a constructor on your own now? Come on, let's join class second. Okay, watch it. Define a constructor on your own. And remember, when you're defining 99% of the times, what we define is parameterized only, not default. Why to define default here? If I don't define, also default is there. Yes or not? So writing default doesn't make sense now. What is it defined? Parameterized. So let's go for a parameterized constructor now. Int A. The constructor is default or parameterized? Parameterized. Now tell me, whenever you're creating an instance, you should pass a value or not? And go and check it. Test classes is running with 3 errors for you. Test classes is ready with 3 errors for you. Earlier this code executed, but now it is getting 3 errors. Why? Constructor call is not matching the constructor signature. Constructor call is not matching the signature now. Okay, see, asking you, there is no argument given that corresponds to the required parameter A. You did not give a value. I'm passing a value 100. Are you clear? I'm passing a value 100. Now the value 100 comes to A. X is equals to A. Now your field is initialized with 100. Yes or not? Now, in the second instance, I will pass 200. In the third instance, I'll pass 300. Now understand yourself. All the three have 3 separate values, not the same value. Array, you already learned now. Method parameter will make it dynamic now. Same only now. Are you getting me or not? So this also same concept. See now, you have the same value or different value? Different value or same value? First one is having same value. Why? There is a default constructor. And second one is having different values because it is a parameterized constructor. Put this in mind. What you know? Listen. Every class will require some values to execute. Every class will require some values to execute. And those values are passed to the class through the constructor of that class. Did you understand or not? What is that? Every class will require some values to execute. And those values are passed to the class through the constructor of that class. They're passed through the constructor of that class. That is the job of a constructor. Did you understand my point or not? So tomorrow someone asks you, why should I define a constructor in the class? What is your answer? To pass input to a class. To pass input to a class. I'm going to do it to pass the input. If I don't define a constructor, nothing wrong. But what is the drawback? All instances will have the same values. Understood? See the picture. Sorry, see this. All three. 100. Yeah. Watch down. How many instances? 3 for class 1. Sorry, class first. 3 for class second. Notice that 3 for class first and 3 for class second. You can see you have 3 here. You have 3. Are you getting or not? Understood my point? Okay, so this is how the three instances are going to be created. Here you have all the values as 100 only, but here you have the value as 100, 200, and 300. Okay, tomorrow if you create 100 instances now, 100 different values will be there now. Understood? See, yesterday, or day before yesterday, I was telling you about creating multiple instances. And when I say about multiple instances, I said you a point, right? Tomorrow when you're developing applications, for every customer, I will create one instance. Said you this or not? For every customer, I will create one instance. So 1,000 customers created. How many instances are created? If all 1,000 have the same value, then why did you create 1,000 instances? Think yourself now. Yes or not? So first one should represent one customer. So values of the first customer should be present now. Second one, second customer. Values of second customer should be present now. Third one, now you understand and you create the instance, pass the appropriate values now. Are you clearer? Pass the appropriate values to that are required to you. That is the job of a constructor. Otherwise, what is the problem? Always the initialization is done with same value, which can be default value or a fixed given value Is my point clear, all of you? Okay, that is why you should define constructors explicitly without taking the help of implicit constructors. Okay, just a minute, man. What is X tilde variable? Louder. What is A? Tilde variable. Variable. A is accessible in that method only now. What is X? Now tell me, can a variable and field have the same name? Can a variable and field have the same name? Let's try and see what is the error we get. Okay, I will change this name also as X. If there is a case this A is giving error, I should change this to X now. I should change this to X. Are you clear? Okay, now when I run this code, guys, I did not get error here. You said wrong. I did not get error. Are you getting me or not? I did not get the error. We are not getting an error in this particular case. Notice that? Yes or not? Okay. So So if you just look at this particular thing, if you just look at this, there is no error coming here. There is no error coming in this particular case now. Okay, means what is the meaning? Field and variable can have the same name. And first understand here, what is the meaning? Field and variable can have the same name. Okay, now you understand a point here. What is that? Here, when a field and variable are going to have the same name, when you say x is equals to x, you are getting a warning there. Have you noticed it? You are getting a warning there. What is the warning? No, error did not come. Warning is coming. What is that? See, when a field and variable have the same name, within the block, first preference goes to local. Right, there is an interview in a state government here. There is a job interview for a state government. Two applicants came. One is from the same state, one is from other state. First preference is given to whom? Local. First preference is given to local. Correct or not? See, at this particular scenario, okay, at this particular scenario, at this particular scenario, if you just understand me, when I say x is equals to x here, when you say x is equals to x here, what is the meaning? You are assigning the local variable to local variable only. Are you getting me or not? Okay, you are assigning the local variable to local variable only. You are assigning the local variable to local variable only. What do you mean, sir? Array, what I mean to say is, when you say within the block first preference goes to local, so x is equals to x. X is equals to x. When you say x is equals to x, then what do you mean? Left hand side is also local only, right hand side is also local only. Means you are assigning the values to the same now. Understood or not? You are assigning the value to the same. It is also telling the same thing only. This is the warning. Asking you, did you mean to assign something else? Did you mean to assign something else? Yeah. They're asking you, are you doing correctly? You're wrong. Because you're assigning that way, this x value did not go to this here now. That is why that is still showing you as 0 only. See? Here field x is printed now. Field x value is 0. But I don't have any problem when I give different names. I don't have any problem when I give different names. Observe. Problem comes only when I give same names. How to resolve this? How to resolve this problem now? You learned in C language here. I think you forgot it already. Didn't you learn in C language? This dot x. You're required to refer to global variables like this. How to refer? This dot x is equals to x. This dot x means global. X means local. Are you getting me or not? How to refer to a global? This dot x. This dot x refers to global. X means local. Now you see, you'll get the correct answer. When I show this, you'll be in a confusion now. What a confusion? Sir, why to give same names and confuse again? Sir, we can do different names now. We can give different names now. Why are you giving same names? I'll tell you. Imagine tomorrow there are 10 fields and 10 parameters. How many? 10 fields, 10 parameters. All the 10 have different names now. It will be confusion for you only, man. What confusion? Which variable value will go to which field now? The variable name and field name are same. Always it is user friendly. Understood or not? The variable name and field name are same. Always it will be user friendly to understand. What is it? A value is going to be assigned to A now. B value is assigned to C now. C value is assigned to C. Like this, you can understand it very clearly. So, do you guys understand my point or not? Okay, so like this, when you're trying to give the same names, this always makes your code user friendly. This always makes your code user friendly. That is why we always use the same names. So how to refer to it now? Base products. And don't forget a point here. If names are not same, no need to use this. If names are different, don't need to use this. When do I require to use this? When names are same only, this keyword is required. Otherwise, this keyword is not required. Okay now? Okay? Fine. Look at this. This is what? This is a question what you raised yesterday. You clarified? Understood? Any confusion? Read it. Why to define a constructor explicitly in our class when there are implicit constructors? Read that. Like, first one. I don't see any energy in your face here. Understood or not? What is that? Implicit constructors will be initializing all the fields with default values. So it's always a good habit of defining a constructor explicitly. Okay. Next, you can see I defined a class here. Public field index. Then what did I do? Public second index. What did I write? This dot x is equals to x. This paragraph. What is that? In the first case, all copies of x are having the same value. But in the second case, every x has a different value. Understood me or not? Are you clear? The two points here. Read the second point. I said you that also. I said that point already. Every class will be requiring some values to execute, and those values should be passed through constructor. What point? Method parameter will make a method dynamic now. We learned it already. Same way, constructor parameter will make the class dynamic now. It will make the class dynamic. Are you clear? Remember this one? That only I said you. These all these concepts here. One more thing is that after completing that, I will explain you a case study of the ATM machines. Everything what I explained, you will practically implement and show you there. Are you clear? Then we'll discuss. See, this is why we need to use a constructor here. This is where you get required to define a constructor explicitly without using a implicit constructor. All these things will give you a clear picture. First, understand these particular concepts. Don't think beyond where to use. We will talk about in the case study every point, how to use it and where to use. Clear? Before I'm going to explain you about the case study, I want to give a clarification about this also, so that will be 100% perfect. What is it? Static and non-static. What is that? Static and non-static. 2 weeks back, when we started about programming, we talked about static and non-static, but we did not go into that at all. Simply discussed like static members are there, non-static members are there. That's all. We ignored the concept. But I want to give you a clear understanding about that static and non-static to you. So today, What we are talking is static modifier. What is this? This is a keyword using which we can declare a class or its members as static. Read it, all of you. Are you clear? See now. Watch carefully. I have a class here, class test. In this class, I'm writing int x is equals to 100. Int y is equals to 200. Okay? Public void add. Console dot write line x plus y. Public void int x comma int y. Console dot write line x minus y. Look at this code. Tell me how many members are present in the class. Four members now. Four members are there. Two fields, two methods. Array, two fields, two methods. So how many members are there? And all these four members are non-static only. All these four members are non-static only. Why? Array, that's what I said here. If you want static, you require a static keyword on that now. You did not use on anything now. Correct? See now. I will do one thing. I'll say static int. Now you see, this is a non-static member, nothing but a field, and this is a static member, but it's also field only. Next, what about this method? Non-static member, but it's not a field here. What is it? Method. Now I'll come here and I'll say static. Now understand, guys, it is a static member, nothing but a method. It's nothing but a method now. Are you guys clear or not? Okay, so modifier and every keyword is a modifier. Every keyword is a modifier. All keywords are modifier. Public is a modifier. Static is a modifier. All keywords are called as modifiers only. That only said you. What is modifier? The keyword. Keywords are called modifiers. Okay. So, you see how many members are present in the class now? 4. In this, 2 are static, 2 are non-static. So, did you understand the difference between static and non-static members first? Okay. See, I only said how to define them. But you'll ask me a question is, sir, what is the difference in behavior? What is the difference in behavior? Okay, listen, I taught you this already. One more time I'm telling you. Non-static members of a class require instance of the class to initialize or execute. Read it carefully. Instance of class to initialize or execute. Okay, next. Static members of class doesn't require instance of class, okay, to initialize or execute also. Did you understand me or not? What is that? Non-static members of class require instance of class to initialize or execute. Static members of class doesn't require instance of class to initialize or execute. What is the meaning of it? Listen, what is the meaning of this? What the meaning is, say, I want to print the X value now. Yesterday I thought you remember, if you want to print the X value, first create an instance, then only memory will be allocated. Practical I shown you yesterday only. So without creating an instance, is X initialized? Tell me, man. No. Okay. Now, 15 days back, we defined a program class with 4 methods, test 1, test 2, test 3, test 4. On that day, what did we learn? To call these methods, you must create an instance. That only I said you, yeah, read it. If you want a field to initialize or a method to execute, what is required? Instance is required. What is required? And now read the second point. Static members of the class doesn't require instance of class to initialize or execute also. What is the meaning? No need any instance for them now. No need any instance. Sir, for initializing instance is not required? Not required. Recollect, yeah, you done it in the notepad. In the notepad, in the main method, you declared a variable and you printed the variable directly on the screen. Do you remember or not? You did not create any instance at all. When did you start creating instance? Array, we started creating instance only from this Monday. After we started object-oriented programming, before that, we did not create instances at any place at all. Am I right or wrong? Instance creation is not done anywhere. Okay, so from Monday only we do. Why? Because from Monday we started writing non-static members. The last week we completely written the code in the main only. Correct? Main is a static member. Instance not required. Will execute. But today we started writing the code out of the main now. When you write out of the main, then the question starts now. What is it? Statica? Non-statica. We defined static, we can directly call. If we define non-static, we should create the instance now. We should create the instance. Still, I'll tell you in detail about each and everything. We'll start with each and everything. First, we'll see static versus non-static fields. Then we'll understand about static constructors versus non-static constructors. Okay. Second, we'll come across static methods versus non-static methods. Did you understand me? I'm going to elaborate each and everything to you in detail. First, static field, non-static field. Tell me what fields are static and what fields are non-static. What fields are static and what fields are non-static? By default, every field is non-static. Yeah, by default, every field is non-static. And to make it when it is a static modifier on it now. Observe it, guys. Observe this. I will define a class. I'll name it as a fields only. Here I'm writing what? Int x is equals to 100. Static int y is equals to 100. Are you clear? Now let me write a main method, man. Let me write a main method here. I want to print the x value now. I want to print the x value. Yesterday we tried it and got an error. Do you remember? Console.writeLine x is an error. Console.writeLine x is a error. Why? The memory is not allocated for x. Without allocating the memory, you cannot print the value of it now. See, error. Understood? Huh? But I want to print the value of y. Check it out. No instance created, nothing done now. That is what I said to you. Non-static members doesn't require instance for initialization and execution. Are you clearer? Okay, sorry, static members, not non-static, I said wrong. Non-static requires instance, but static doesn't require instance. Proven or not? Yes or not? Okay, now come back. Are you clear what is the static field and non-static field now? What is it? Understood all of you? See again. Class test. Index is equals to 100. Non-static. Static int y is equals to 200. Static. Static void main. Int z is equals to 300. Did you understand the last thing? A variable declared under a if you declare a variable in a static block, the variable is also static only now. So Z is also static only. Remember, in the notepad, you done that only. In the notepad, you directly declared everything in the main and tried to print its values, and it got executed. Why? All are static. All these are static. Okay. So X is non-static. Y is static. Okay. Now, am I able to print the Y value? Yes or not? Can you answer this question? When is a static variable, when is a static field initialized? When class is loaded means, where is it loaded? Do you understand the question? I'm asking you, when is a static field initialized? When is it initialized? Static fields are initialized immediately once we start the execution of class. Are you getting me? What is that? Once we start the execution of the class, execution starts from where? Here only now. Once the execution starts here, immediately all static fields are initialized. That is why in the first line only I'm able to print it now. Okay. Now, when is a non-static field initialized? When a instance is created. When an instance is created. See now, if you want this X to initialize, you must create an instance now. Fields S1 is equals to new fields. Okay, look at all of you. Execution will start from here now. When execution started there, immediately the memory is allocated for your Y. The memory is allocated for Y now. But X memory is not allocated. X memory is not allocated until you create the instance. Means when the content is here, at that point of time, Y is initialized. Y is initialized, but X is not initialized. X is initialized only after creating the instance. So when you reach here, then only this X will be initialized. So you're creating an instance now. When you create an instance, internally what will happen? Memory will be allocated. Internally, memory is going to be allocated now. Okay? Just a second. Yes, you created the instance. Now, inside of it, your X is initialized. This is what happens. Are you guys clear? Yes or not? But yeah, Y doesn't require any instance. Execution started, it initializes it now. But X is not initialized like this, only after creating the instance. Did you catch my point? Okay. One more thing, listen. So when is Y initialized? When is a non-static initialized? Only after creating a instance as well as for each instance. As well as for every instance. What do you mean? What I mean is, if I create another instance now, another copy of X will be present, yes or not? Today morning also learned, how many instances created? 2 instances. So when you create 2 instances, what do you have? 2 copies of X. There will be 2 copies of X. What is this? Yes. Are you guys clear or not? Okay, so that's what. So in the first case, what is going to happen? Means about static, I'm telling you. Static, one time, but non-static. Tell me minimum count. I'll ask this question. I'll ask the question in another way. In the life cycle of a class, life cycle means the moment you start the execution here, to stop the execution is called as one life cycle. Start, stop is called as a life cycle. Now answer me. In life cycle of a class, how many times static fields are initialized? Still more accurate, one and only one. Not one. What is it? One and only one. Non-static. I want minimum maximum count. Minimum count? 0. Minimum count is 0. Why? No instances created. Not initialized. N instances created. N number of copies will be created. Are you clear? So here how many copies are there? 2 copies, man, not 1 copy. Yes or not? There are 2 copies here, not 1 copy. And again, we are repeating the same problem what we discussed half an hour back. When you create 2 copies, why are you creating with the same value? Why don't you make that dynamic? How to do? Constructor. Don't initialize here. Define a constructor. Public fields int X. This dot X is equals to X. And now you guys can observe when I'm creating, can I pass a value like this now? What is the value of X under S1? 50. What is the value of X under F2? Sorry, S2? 150. You can print and see console dot write line. So once again, tell me how many copies of X are there? This is why you cannot directly call X. How many copies of Y are there? Directly Y can be called, but X cannot be called directly because you clearly saw how many copies are there. See the picture, man. 1 copy of Y. Not Y only, but 2 copies of X. If I call X, which X? Confused. So what should I write? Yes, 1 dot X. Yes, 2 dot X. That's how you should execute the things. Is my point clear, all of you? This is how you're going to execute the things. Clear? Are you clear with the behavior of a static and non-static? This only, actually, generally everyone will think like this. What you know? Array, static doesn't require an object, na? Why again to declare non-static, creating instance? Why all this waste of time? If I write of everything as static, we can directly call off now. That is what you will think. That's why I'm telling you. The behavior of static is completely different. We cannot use in all the scenarios. Static will be used only in particular scenarios. 99% of the members of your class will be non-static only. Did you catch my point or not? 99% of the members in your class will be non-static only. There's only a 1% place for static. Is my point clear, all of you? So that's the important point you should remember. Okay, let's stop here. We'll continue tomorrow.